Hello, I'm Russell and welcome to the Onduline Technical Department.
The main aim of this short video is to guide you step by step through the fixing process for mini profile sheets.
There's also a fully comprehensive fixing guide that you can download from our website. The first job is to inspect the building. So in this case, we have a timber frame shed. It's in good condition, but you should check that there are no signs of deterioration on yours. It really is worth spending a little time renovating it before you start on the roof. Pay particular attention to the way the roof section is constructed. In this case, it's made of 12mm tongue and groove boarded decking supported on timber trusses. But yours may be made from plywood or OSB like this. The main issue is to ensure that the thickness of the decking is sufficient to support nail penetration of between 15 to 20mm. Otherwise, you will need to overlay the roof with battens. You're going to need the following tools to do the job: a hammer, snips, knife, tape measure, a coarse bladed hand saw with some lubricating oil to ensure that it doesn't bind whilst cutting. Of course, we'd always recommend using a circular saw for ease of cutting, but we'll come to that later on in the video. You should always ensure that you wear safety gloves, goggles, and of course, a safety hat. Finally, please remember that working on roofs is hazardous. Always ensure that you are working from a secure platform or ladder. The next step is to measure the shed. Remember the golden rule of building. Always measure twice, so you only fix the job once. I'm going to ask Richard, our instructor, to show us how to do this.
Richard is going to measure the slope of the roof using an inclinometer. With this information, we can select the correct fixing specification.
Next, Richard is going to measure the length and the width of the shed. The width along what is known as the verge, and the length along what is known as the eaves. With these measurements, we can then calculate the materials required.
The first step is to work out the slope of your roof. Then select the corresponding fixing requirement from one of these two options. For roofs constructed with purlin supports, the minimum recommended slope is 10 degrees, and the purlins must be set at a maximum distance of 45 centimeters apart. The sheet can then be fixed using the Onduline mini profile nails in accordance with the instructions. The sheets are then laid with a 20 centimeter end lap and a double corrugation side lap. For roofs constructed with a roof deck, the minimum recommended slope is 7 degrees. The sheet can then be fixed using the Onduline mini profile nails in accordance with the instructions. The sheets are then laid with a 20 centimeter end lap and a double corrugation side lap. It is essential you select the correct fixing option to create a durable, long-lasting roof covering. Anyway, enough of the theory, let's get back to our shed. We know it has a boarded roof slope of 25 degrees, and because it is only 12mm thick, we must overlay the deck with purlins that are fixed at 45 centimeters apart. Carefully mark out and screw the purlins into the shed's existing roof support structure. On thin-decked roof structures, to avoid the risk of fixings penetrating the interior of the building, first secure the purlins at the verges externally. Then mark out and screw through the deck into the purlins from inside the building. Next, we must fix the ridge purlins in place. The sheets can then be measured and cut as required, allowing for a 5 centimeter sheet overhang at the eaves. The Onduline mini profile sheets can be cut across the corrugation width by using either a lubricated coarse blade hand saw or preferably an electric circular saw. To cut the sheets up the length of the corrugation, score with a knife and fold the sheet to split it. The sheets are then laid with a 20 centimeter end lap, which should be increased to 30 centimeters on exposed sites. The fixing of the sheet is completed with a double corrugation side lap. After ensuring that the sheet is positioned square to the line of the eaves and the verge, nail the sheet into place. use a string line or mark out the nail fixing points. These should be fixed at every other corrugation at the eaves and the sheet end laps. They should also be fixed either side of the vertical corrugation laps and every fourth corrugation on the intermediate purlins. The verge is formed with a raised barge board, which is positioned to align with the last corrugation so that it provides a 5mm drip edge at the verge. For enhanced weathering performance, you can of course use Onduline preformed verge pieces. Should your roof finish in a wall abutment, we produce a preformed flashing which is nailed into position. A separate cover flashing is dressed into the wall to complete the installation. Onduline verge pieces are used to form the ridge. Allow a 20cm end lap between the ridge pieces. Mark out the fixing line and fix by nailing alternate corrugations. The aesthetic of the ridge lap can be enhanced by trimming the lap section of the ridge. Cut and fix a timber finial to finish the ridge line.
If you have any additional questions, please contact our technical team. They'll be more than happy to help you.